On this Labor Day, we are witnessing nothing short of a shockwave hitting the United States of America right now. Our country is being rebuilt from the ground up. And I had to refresh my screen again and again when I saw this last week. What a turn of events in just under a year. I'm telling you, this Labor Day 2025, the ground is shaking beneath the globalist elite's feet right now. Look at these White House images. These were shot in the final days of the Otto Penn presidency, the Biden-Harris bought and paid for Obama-orchestrated administration gave George Soros a Presidential Medal of Freedom in your name, like on behalf of America. What a big middle finger. Yeah, in your name, in my name. It's just insane. Are they nuts? Yeah, they are. George Soros, the despicable, universally loathed billionaire demon who embodies pure evil through his insidious open society foundations and deliberate anarchy sowing all across the West, supporting and funding violent protests in the United States, supporting the importation of illegal immigrants in the United States, the intent to dismantle civilization, indoctrinate the next generation to be serfs and sheep.
So USAID is actually funding Soros, and Soros is passing those funds to the people on the ground, the local politicians, the local judges, the local prosecutors, the local anti-corruption NGOs.
Just witnessed something that he never prepared for. I mean, this guy is Satan incarnate, by the way. He and the cabal network that had been funding the destruction of the West without interruption thought they got rid of Trump in 2020. And in their playbook, they couldn't in a million years believe that he'd rise from the ashes, win all 7 swing states in a landslide, go for the jugular of the deep state so forcefully. I mean, this deep state Soros cabal even tried to kill Trump multiple times and failed. Butler, Pennsylvania, for crying out loud. Now, they wanted Hillary in 2016. They wanted Kamala in 2024. Can you imagine?
Hold on. Slow down, everybody.
All of them puppets. But now they see the wrath of the red-blooded Americans, people like you and me, who are frankly fed the F up about this trans ideology in our schools, rainbow flags flying next to the American flags, jobs and manufacturing outsourced to Mexico, China, whole towns devastated by liberal policies. Just drive through downtown Denver, go to near Union Station, see homeless tents and in a once shining American Western city. These people like George Soros that nearly took the republic to the cleaners and flooded it with irreversible illegal immigrants that would have ended freedom and future rights for generations. I mean, just look at Canada, for instance, how that country has been absolutely transformed, or the UK collapsing right before our eyes. Thank God Trump got in there and shut down our border.
Not right now. The United States has a secure border now that President Trump is in office, as opposed to when you were Secretary of Homeland Security. Do you have any regret facilitating an open border, sir?
So as this happens, as I mentioned at the top on this Labor Day, the 33-year deindustrialization of America, which transferred trillions into the pockets of elites, is finally making its way back to the people. And I want to be there myself with the bucket sort of facing the sky right now as it pours back to where it belongs with hardworking Americans that actually build and make America work, the backbone of this country. Right now, there is a massive fight going on behind the scenes, and in front of our eyes, we're seeing tectonic plates moving. Trump is maneuvering against the deep state's major institutions right now, arresting people, federalizing Washington, D.C. Crime has plummeted in that area. The mayor is even now admitting this. They're actually bringing in military lawyers to carry out military tribunals against these Satan criminals in Washington, D.C., including going after the unelected Federal Reserve. I mean, Trump is doing all of it. That brought us the 2008 collapse, bailed out the elites at your expense.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
So I want to go over the facts and show you the details here, because when I connect all of the dots and the moving pieces on the map right now, this layout shows an incredible tsunami of economic and geopolitical changes on the horizon in the United States right now that we've frankly never seen in our nation's history. We are at a pivotal moment right now. So look at this. So for the first time since 1996, the end of Bill Clinton's first term, global central banks are ditching treasury bonds. And now they own more gold than U.S. debt. Central banks are buying as much gold as they can. Why? So stay with me, because these mega trends are creating enormous opportunities in silver. And I'm about to unveil my absolute #1 bullish call in my view, which I'll show you in a little bit here. So, okay, on August 27th, President Trump opened up a new battle zone This one targeting the highest in the high of the hierarchy in the global deep state globalist undercurrent, going after George Soros and his son Alex and the entire network of globalists. Now, we asked Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton on our show this week about going after Soros, and he loved the idea.
George Soros has been doing this for at least a decade, inciting violence, violent mobs, violent protests. And look, we believe in the First Amendment. We believe that people should be able to protest peacefully. That's not what George Soros pushes. And there's no reason he should not be investigated and potentially prosecuted for inciting violence around our country. You can't do that in our country. That is beyond the limits of free speech and beyond the limits of the First Amendment.
But this was just the starting gun, because the data is unequivocal. The showdown between America's golden era captains, reclaiming of the American Republic on behalf of the American people, and the forces that are ganging up to bring down the West have finally met a worthy opponent. This Labor Day, I'm about to show you how China's CCP, Russia's President Putin, India's Modi are meeting to discuss how to shape the return blows right now, as the three major leaders of the BRICS axis meet in Modi's first trip to China in 7 years. They will be discussing how to combat Trump's tariffs, energy supply chains, oil, natural gas, the Belt and Road Initiative. But what's really cooking is a death spiral for the US dollar. And the timing of this meeting isn't accidental, because on this Labor Day, Trump wants to unleash a building boom on US soil. Did you see Trump's show the other day? I call it the show, but it was really a cabinet meeting where he held up a photo sent to him by Mark Zuckerberg showing a $50 billion plant. This new Meta plant is being constructed in Louisiana, a plant, and by the way, it's the size of Lower Manhattan. And this isn't an isolated case. Construction to build new factories right now is happening all over the United States from multiple major companies, hiring tens of thousands of people. Now, the reason I'm personally digging so deep into this is because, look, I have a teenage son who just turned 15 a few weeks ago. And honestly, I'm really worried about his future. AI is taking away all of the jobs that young people used to rely on, from coding to website design, you name it. I remember they told everyone to learn how to code. That was the big thing. Hey, stop learning how to cursive write and learn how to code. And now, what a waste. That's all going away thanks to AI. And the president is openly discussing the AI revolution right now, openly saying that this country needs to triple its electrical output this decade. We're seeing a massive change in our labor force on this Labor Day. In order to win the race and lead in the most important development in human society ever, I want to make sure that my son is prepared, because right now the labor market is completely turning on its head. Tens of millions of college graduates learning that they can, basically tear up their college degrees because they're worthless. Because what they really need is a valuable trade craft that will help America build the infrastructure of the future. I'm seriously pushing my son to join a construction crew next summer, or apprentice alongside electricians, learn a real hard skill. I mean, gone are the days of those digital nomads sitting on a beach with a laptop, writing those fruity travel blogs. Thank God that's dying. But in its place, America needs real labor, Americans who can build a house, lift up a hammer, plumb a house, wire that entire new AI facility, build robotics. I mean, this is going to be the first generation where robots will be everywhere. My friend was just telling his young daughter, she's like 5 years old, he was saying, honey, you realize that you're going to be the first generation where robots are like everywhere. I keep picturing like Terminator walking around, but or the Tesla Optimus robots everywhere. But yeah, it's coming. It's already here. And heck, even Larry Fink, I know, the CEO of BlackRock. But anyway, he said there's a demand for 500,000 electricians in the United States over the next couple of years. 500,000. I mean, I know it's Larry Fink. You know how I feel about this guy. WEF leader now, for crying out loud. But he's right. So the next phase of this global race for the soul of humanity is about who sets the standard for AI. I mean, China's way out in front right now. That's why you're going to see a surge in the United States right now for AI and robotics and manufacturing here at home. That means it's an existential war. This is existential for the future of our country. Nothing is going to be spared. Do we want to end up like the United Kingdom, a once powerful country that's now a shell of its former self? They don't want that. And to win it, what's incredible right now is that both BRICS, the BRICS nations and the Trump administration agree on one thing. In order to fund this, the dollar must be weaker. Yes, this is what Trump is pushing for. He's appointed a weak dollar advocate to the Fed with Stephen Moran and is pressuring to fire Lisa Cook, take more control in the direction of interest rates, which will start to be cut within the next 3 weeks from now. The Fed is going to be slashing interest rates. They're about to come down. The dollar will become weaker. That devalues the US dollar on purpose. Jerome Powell knows this, but he works for the elites. So he's refusing to lower rates, knowing that this will actually help President Trump. So here is Trump's precise dollar strategy. If you need to spend to win, low interest rates and a competitive currency is what you need. And that means silver, the quasi-industrial precious metal, stands to gain from all angles, in my view. It's crucial for industry in building AI data centers and about 5,000 product categories. And at the same time, it's a precious metal that most of the world population can afford to accumulate right now because it's relatively cheap compared to gold. So that's the news update part of today's video. Now I want to tell you about today's sponsor, which is tied directly to what Trump is doing with all of this, and that's Argenta Silver. Now I must be upfront and transparent with you on the most important and monumental bull market in the world right now. In my opinion, that is silver. And that's not just my opinion, but for the sake of this video, it's my opinion. The numbers speak for themselves. We are in an enormous breakout cycle for my favorite metal, which is silver. If you've watched my show for any length of time, you know I'm a big investor in silver. And I'm about to share with you my #1 all-time pure silver idea for the coming decade. So I'm not beating around the bush on this, okay? This is it. One billionaire mining tycoon has just increased his position in this particular silver company that I'm very bullish on. On top of that, a prominent Argentinian businessman who's already invested millions in May of this year just raised his personal stake once more by millions of dollars. Just 2 weeks ago, he did that, which is the reason I'm profiling this company to you again right now. The momentum is huge right now. Together, both of them own roughly a quarter of Argenta Silver, which is available on Interactive Brokers you can check out. So as you know, on Friday, silver hit $40 an ounce, a 14-year high. Guys, that is a generational level high. This has only happened twice ever in silver's history. And then when that happened, it shot up to $50 an ounce. Meanwhile, Wall Street's Bank of America is forecasting $4,000 an ounce for gold. Many are even more excited about silver. So Argenta Silver is my #1 silver company. And since I showed it to you back in May of this year, the company's share price has appreciated by 140% in just over 90 days. So hopefully you were paying attention when I first told you about this company back then. You can clearly see for yourself this is a huge breakout. I hope you paid attention back then, back in May, because if you did, you can see they're up over 140%. So I told you this was coming, in my opinion, back then. Now, the dollar is trading right now at its 3-year support line. I personally cannot think of a better time to highlight Argenta Silver's business model to you. So here are my top 3 reasons that this company is currently my top silver play for the next 10 years. First of all, 2 highly successful businessmen with proven track records in mining are buying millions and tens of millions of shares of the company. Both Frank Giustra and Argentinian real estate entrepreneur Eduardo Elstein, who has acquired 25 million shares in March, are major shareholders of Argenta Silver. Just 2 weeks ago, they both purchased additional shares. Again, putting millions of dollars into this company. Look at the screen right here. And the valuation of the company, here are the dry figures which tell the story. The previous owners of the El Cuevar silver mine spent an estimated $60 million Canadian on the project, discovering the 3rd largest pure silver deposit in Argentina. And they built a 100-people camp there. Then Argenta Silver came in, purchased the project for only $3.5 million US back in September. Huge. The pure silver deposit contains a silver resource of 45.3 million ounces in the indicated category, 4.1 million ounces in the inferred category. And you can read the technical report for yourself below. I will have it linked below in the description. Dive into all of the details yourself. They are public. I encourage you to do the research on that. But here's where it gets really good. Less than 1% of the project area has been explored. So I cannot overstate the potential here. This is already the 3rd largest undeveloped pure silver deposit in Argentina. We have a silver shortage around the world right now, and Argenta Silver now has a significant cash position, roughly $18 million in working capital, and they are drilling as we speak. So results are imminent and will continue to come in for the next few months. Remember, this project was dormant for over a decade. So this drilling program is critical right now. So again, the ticker on the OTC market is right here on your screen, AGAGF. This is one of the reasons that with gold hitting a historic all-time high, that with silver just hitting a 14-year high, a generational high this weekend, with also Argentina's most prominent businessman, Eduardo Elstein, with a track record in mining, investing $7.5 million in Argenta silver, with billionaire mining magnate Frank Giustra calling this project a vehicle to fulfill a 40-year dream of his to scale a pure silver company. I'm featuring it to you today, and with President Trump's big moves on minerals. So it's all coming to a head right now, in my opinion. So guys, do your own homework on Argenta silver. Again, here's the ticker on your screen. Like I said, this really matters to me on a personal level, that both Eduardo Elstein and Frank Giustra have been buying millions of shares of this company in 2025. And Frank Giustra is a legend in this business. He says that their silver resource is a once in a 40-year opportunity. So again, guys, do your own homework on this company. I'll have links to the company's information in the description below. And I hope to see you next time. Happy Labor Day. This country is changing forever right now. We'll see you next time.